Hello, hello. I'm so excited to be on here today going live with Christine Michelle. So she should be here in a few minutes. And she is just she's such a magical person. So I'm very excited to be having a conversation with her. Yes, okay, I'm gonna bring her on right now. Hi, Sumaya. Hi, Kayla. So I think Christine, if you ask to be invited, I think I can approve it. Is actually how that'll work. But I'm so excited to be having this conversation. Oh, here she is. Um, well, hopefully there. Oh, it worked!
I'm like, wait, I did.
Yay! You know how technology is. Sumaya! Oh my gosh, also Sumaya, happy birthday, by the way. She just had a birthday.
Alarm for you. We're here. We're back. How are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm great. It's like a stormy day here, so I'm just kind of having this cozy day at home. And my birthday is the day after tomorrow, so getting ready for
Oh,
that.
well, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Sumaya. All of these July babies. My mom is July 3rd. My dad is July 11th. It's just all Julys. Like, you guys are special.
Oh, you got the Cancer Julys. I'm just over that cusp of being a Leo, of course, with the
The
lion mane.
fire, the mane. Happy birthday.
So how are you? What's
I
going on in
am
your world?
so honored, so excited to be here with you and just really like jamming on all of our spiritual goodness. Thank you for having me, especially as close to your birthday. I feel like I'm a birthday present.
You are part of my birthday present. Love that.
Well, I we can talk about anything. I was looking at the ghost points thing and I did want to ask like what are the ghost points? I do want to talk about that. But let's go. How do you want to go?
Yes, let's start there because nobody knows what the ghost points are, right? Like, it's definitely a good thing to dive into because it's such a cool system and it's actually thousands of years old. So it's a set of 13 points on the body. You can, use needles, but actually a lot of practitioners just use acupressure. These are a couple of them that I'm just touching right now, but they're all over the body, these 13 points. And they were first recorded in the 6th century by a very famous acupuncture physician who actually wrote the moral code for doctors that we still use. Really influential person. But they're referenced as being even older than that. So they're really this ancient gift to humanity meant to, well, depossess. That's the wording that's used, especially in the old days, right? It's all about depossession. But it makes sense because it's really detangling you from everything that isn't true to your essential nature, to your spirit, right? So it's this beautiful experience of everything from societal conditioning to other people, even just kind of getting stuck in your energy and stuck in your body and really detangling from that and experiencing more of you, more you-ness.
I love that. So there are 13 points in the body. When you use those, press on those acupuncture kind of, or you know how like when I think about EFT tapping, I added some points that for me intuitively, I was like, okay, EFT tapping, like certain things that I want to tap on my body. So I added like the third eye point, I added the heart point, there's a womb point, like different points that I was like, this feels like places that I get to like move energy. And so that is it's so interesting that when we think about knowledge and we think about everything that has come through us, right, as divinity, as when we remember we are source point, and when we are so connected. We can already know a lot of this stuff without ever reading a book, without ever, looking at someone else's information. And you'll just be like, oh my God, like we're all doing the same thing, walking in the same way. And it's all how you know where truth lies, right? Where that truth lies. And it's all within us. I love that.
Yeah, that's so true. Actually, like, and I don't even know your whole story with this, but I think I saw you post something as how you used to really be in the human design world, and now you really have your own system that's just more resonant with your soul. I don't know if you want to talk about that at all.
Yes. Okay, I love this story. Yeah, I was a part of like the human design gene key whole world way before it became popular. So this is like before COVID, before everybody started talking about it. And so I had brought about 16,500 people through my courses. One was Create an Aligned Soul by Design, and the other one was a human design manifesting course because I saw ways to manifest utilizing your design. And so I taught and I led so many 6 and 7 figure like leaders through human design and who they were and all of this stuff. And it really started to feel constricting. Like there was just something in my body that I got the severe ick with the whole system. And I knew what it was. Like I was walking one day and I heard no more, like no freaking more. And this isn't for anyone that's watching, and if you still follow it, it's not saying that human design is bad or good. Nothing like that. If this is something that is allowing you to tap in, then that's great. But for me to teach, like my clients, I had clients, the projectors that would say, oh, I can't do this, or I can't do this, or because of this. And what does my chart say? And they were forgetting that they were God, right? They were forgetting that they were God frequency. And they were giving their power away to this system that was created by some dude in 1987. And I was just like, I can't do it anymore. And so I left behind a huge business. Like I burned it down that day when I heard no more because I really needed to come back to divinity. I had to bring everyone back to their own inner power. And so that means I left behind multiple six-figure business and thousands of clients. Um because I just it didn't feel right in my soul anymore and I couldn't do it.
I love this discussion too because like really all of these tools are meant to just be a bridge, right? And then when they become too much of a system that people are like giving their power away to, we lose. It can happen with anything. It can happen with the ghost points. It can happen with
Yes.
like it certainly happens with religion. We've seen that, and it's not
That's
the
the intention for religion.
right, right, right. Yeah. So, we lose the real beauty of like what this was even about, which is just a bridge to cross into your own power, not a
Yeah.
bridge to get under and
Yes. It really, what it had done, it started for people to start seeking outside of themselves. And I was like, I can no longer be someone that's going to help people seek outside of themselves. And so yeah, because what we all things are tools, right? Everything is tool. Like I love astrology, I love like different things. I love tarot cards, I love all of the like things that we can utilize, pendulums, blah, blah, blah. Love them. But I'm the power, right? I'm source spark. I am God frequency. It's all flowing, and I don't even call it downloads anymore. It's all uploading from within me,
ooh,
right? And so when we think of
upload.
we're getting the uploads, right? It's uploading, then there's nothing that I need to look at outside of me. I can always go in source. I can go in source inside of me. Where's the direction? That because when we do that, then there's no separation, right? I can't there's no more, oh, she's a projector, so she's the guide, or this person's the manifestor and they can and do things without needing to respond to things. What I found myself doing, and this is another thing that I just was like, what? Because I am, I mean, I'm a creator, right? All women are. We have the womb space, like we created the world. And so we, I found myself looking outside of me for things to respond to instead of
Mm.
remembering that I am the portal, like I am like I trailblaze. And so I found myself like losing and not listening to, I'm a channel. I have all the clairs. I wasn't listening to my own power. Things that were uploading within me, I wasn't listening to it because generators weren't supposed to listen to their, like, you're not supposed to listen to your downloads. You're supposed to find things outside of you that inspire you. And I was like, F that shit.
Yeah, yeah. As soon as it becomes the thing that's like limiting in some way, it's no longer helpful. Because also, like, I mean, I think I've spent a lot of my life, and I talk about this a lot, like, I had kind of a shame wound. I had a shame wound for many years. So why I said it all apologetic. It's still there a little bit. No, but I spent a lot of my life really looking for validation. Like, am I okay? Do you like me? Is it okay that I'm here? Is it okay that I'm doing this thing? But I've always been very loud. I've always had a really like big presence. Even when I tried to fit in, it was still like that, right? But even when you say things about the tarot cards, it's like, it's the way in which we use them, right? Like I
Mhm.
would do this thing where I wanted somebody to tell me that I had something worthwhile. Like I wanted a tarot reader or psychic or somebody to say, yeah, you are special. You have something special or your vision matters. And one day like as I was healing and as I was doing this inner work that I take other people through now, the systems that I've developed as I was doing them in real time, it really clicked for me. I was like, oh my gosh, it's my vision. Like I have to validate it. Like I have to see it first. It's trying to be birthed through me. Why am I expecting somebody outside of me to say this is the vision, this is the thing for you to birth? Like what?
Right, right.
And even with human design, it's like I found it helpful at first because it was very eye opening for me, um, being a projector, and I was like, some things started to make sense. I was like, oh, I'm constantly chasing recognition and getting really bitter and trying to like prove myself. And so it helped me like see that pattern a little differently and come out of it. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, ultimately, it's then you're meant to drop all of these things,
Yes,
even a
yes.
meditation practice. Not that we can't sit and meditate, but I've seen people get so into it where it's like marathon meditations or something, and it's like, I think you've lost the plot. The point is to live a life in which you are quite present for, and the
Yes.
meditation is the bridge there.
Oh my God. Yes. It's about being present in the life that you are now. Like the modality that I created is called WooDo. So woo plus the do, right? The woo plus the do. And what it is it's about anchoring in your divinity, in your human, because we're not bypassing humanity. In fact, we're bringing in this big power that we have into our human bodies. So when you are remembering that you are divinity within this body, right? Divinity in a body, then there is nothing outside of you. You're not looking for validation, and you can be present in the moment and move power, right? Because for too long, we've tried to hold power, or especially women, we've been told we're not supposed to be powerful, right? We're not supposed to be powerful. And so when we remember that, like I said, with as women, womb holders, we are the creators, we are the connection with the multidimensional like world. I mean, souls come in through us, right? Hello. Anyway, when we remember that that's who we are the most powerful beings on this planet. And we are meant to move power, not hold it in our hands or try to keep it all for ourselves. We're meant to like move it around. It's so juicy, you know?
Oh, it's so juicy. Yeah, I just had a conversation that this is like, I'm making the connection because I did this 3-day thing over the weekend called Bad Girl Sales, right? So the whole idea is we're not going to be, we're deconstructing, we're deconditioning the good girl patterns and really like, being bad in terms of what society or what these patterns have said is bad and really like taking our power back. And one of the things that I talked about was, well, I was referencing, I don't know if you're familiar with Audre Lorde. She has this essay called she's really incredible. I think she died a long time ago, like probably the same year I was born, long time ago. But she has this incredible essay about uses of the erotic as power. And it
Yeah.
always really inspired me. And, you know, she talks about the erotic being this thing that's like kept sort of over here, like to the
Yeah.
bedroom. And it's this segmented thing. And it's really cutting women off from their power because it's not actually what the erotic is. It's this really like beautiful, all encompassing force that flows through us. And it's the same, you know, she doesn't say this in the essay, but I think it's really the same with money, with sales, with selling, right? It's become this taboo, segmented thing, power, influence, right? That women are taught to believe is bad or wrong or that we shouldn't like want it. And I really do think so many more women would be so powerful and so awakened. Like we actually can do that very quickly, I think, as multidimensional beings. But because we're taught to see our desire as bad, right? And not desire from a place of lack, not desire from a place of like, I'm not okay, but this other kind of desire, right? That if we were
Yes.
to not segment those things anymore and really embrace it, take the taboos and out and like let them be a part of our being, oh my gosh, we're so powerful.
Yes. Okay, so I love to say your desires are divine, right? Because there are divinity. Your desires are, and I love to do this visual, the quantum soup. That's what I call it. Quantum soup is the quantum, everything that is anything exists there, right? Your desires, there's a version of you that already has that, multiple versions of you that already has it. You wouldn't have that desire now here in 3D world if you weren't here to bring it from the multidimensional nature and make it like physical. Like it wouldn't be there. And so
Mm.
those are the desires like you're talking. It's not about, oh, I want this or I want this, or you're looking outside of you like a lack basis are. It is things that are birthing from within you because you are meant to experience them here. And what's super important, especially like when we were talking about like women and we were talking about like there we silo things, we silo power, we silo energy, masculine energy, feminine energy, like anything we can do to separate us. And
Mm.
what the WooDo is really about is bringing everything together, divinity and humanity, right? We're bringing in masculine and feminine and making it one source, like one source power, one source, like all of the things. Because every time we separate and silo everything, we're separating ourselves from it. But when we decide and remember that we are one, we are source, we're the one source power, then there is no power over here, masculine energy over here, feminine things over here. There's none of that. It's all one. I'm all of it.
Yes. Oh my God. I love that. I love that. And even just your whole like story of burning it down and coming into what's true for you. Like a lot of people are terrified to do that. It's very like, let's just follow my truth. Let's just do that, which is what I always talk about. I focus so much on audacity, right? And that's super audacious. It's like, I'm gonna do what's true for me, even if it means I'm gonna lose thousands of dollars or thousands of followers or whatever. It's like, this is what's alive. And I have this radical faith. And it really is the responsibility of a visionary to have radical faith in their heart and in their path and like really go for it and come together in within themselves in this way, like embrace their wholeness. Oh, I love that.
No, I love the way you also wrapped it together. It is so true. And if you're watching it and if you have ever had something that you just knew, like it's just like even with guys, like you're dating this guy and he gives you the ick. If he gives you the ick, it's time to go. Like it's time to go. And so there, a lot of times there's so many the words that are used against women, loyalty. Like, oh, well, you should be loyal to your audience, or you should be loyal to all of the years that you put this together, or it's about to blow up in mainstream. Like everyone is, you were a visionary, you were ahead of the game. Everybody's going to be talking about human design now. You could probably be a multi millionaire by now if you would have stayed with it. But would I be happy? Like, would I be joyful? Joy is the energy that's the underlying force of all of my business. I always say, don't let anybody steal your joy because you're the one who gives it to them. Like, joy is so important. If I'm not going to be joyful, if I'm not going to love my life, if I'm not going to decide and create fulfillment, then that is not something that I want to do. And there's so many women like that stay in relationships because they have been beaten loyalty into them, right? You need to be loyal or you need to stay. No, you get to choose for your heart. You get to choose for your soul. You will be okay if you walk away from that relationship or you walk away from that part of your business. Guess what? Your clients, if you are feeling the desire to do something new, your clients are praying for it. You are the answer to their prayers. And by you not doing it, you are not answering their prayers. And someone else is going to. And don't be mad when they do.
Oh, yeah, it's so true. I actually got divorced, right before starting this business. And it was my choice. And he was a good person, right? And people, they need a villain, right?
You
And I
need
don't
a
think that
villain.
I wasn't so villainized a little bit. And it really brought up a lot of shame. And I talked a little bit about shame before, but yeah, I already had it in my body. And so when I made that choice, I was like, I just knew. I was like, oh, this isn't right. Like, I have to go. It doesn't matter if he's a good person. That's not the point. That's not the problem, right? And when I did that, every ounce of my shame came to the surface and it was so intense. And you know, instead of numbing it or walking away from it, I really went into the fire because I had just started this business too. And I was like, I'm meant to go through this. This is a life initiation. I have to walk through this because this is what's going to come up for other women and other visionaries is really this deep-seated shame when you actually start to take those steps. It's like this needs to be transmuted and alchemized and released and turned into our power and our wholeness.
Yes. Oh my God. I just had, was it earlier this year? It was a course or like not, I would say yeah, it was a full blown course. It was like 3 weeks and it was called From Shame to Fame.
Mm.
And one of the biggest pieces about shame, because that was the easy way to control women. If you've ever felt shame, put some ones in the comments, say here, here, here. It's a way to control women is shame. And so there are three things, aspects to shame, and shame can't live when you let them go. It's secrecy,
Oh.
silence, and judgment. When you stop judging yourselves for whatever you did, when you stop keeping the secret and not telling anybody, and when you break your silence and you speak about it, you obliterate shame. It cannot live. It can't. And
Oh.
so we brought in a lot of like the different things that have happened in history with entertainers as far as like things that they would be shame about or they have been shamed about, and how when those women decided not to feel shame for, like, for example, if we think about the Beyonce and Jay-Z and the elevator incident and him doing that, and then she came out with the album, the Lemonade album, and she was like, Becky with the good hair and all of that. That was her way of not being shamed for something he did, right? Let him work through that. And I'm not going to take it on. And then we talked about Taylor Swift, like the whole like Kanye thing, and then when they tried to shame her and she was like nope, and when she spoke about it, when she stopped being silent about it, when she decided not to judge herself for it, then the shame can't live. And so anytime you feel shame coming up, then be loud about it. Stop
Wow.
being quiet and stop judging yourself, because then shame has no legs.
Exactly. And it really comes up so much in business too, right? Like those moments of, okay, there was only one person at this live event. I mean, that's happened to me before, right? Or there's these metrics that sometimes it's like, okay, I know I don't need to be focusing on that, but like it does happen sometimes. And I see this a lot. So a lot of the women who find me are really qualified and really intelligent, but they kind of don't have the audacity piece. But really what's underpinning that is shame like this, right? It is these moments of like, well, what if I talk about sales, but then I don't make as many sales as I thought I was going to, right? I mean, it's kind of like this desire to hide and like be
Yeah.
quiet about it, and then feeling like an imposter. And it's like, well, actually, you're just going through your own initiations. Actually, like this is making you better at what you do. And the more you talk about it, the more like beautiful and of service that is for the people you're here for.
Okay. And mostly only women feel that. By the way, this is
Yeah.
the story that I tell all the time. Okay. So I'm at the time of this recording 49. And so I have been around for a while. I was in consulting. I worked for Deloitte for a long time. I worked for the Coca-Cola company. I worked for Victoria's Secret. So I have like a long corporate history, 20 plus years. And I will never forget the day. I think I was at an airport. I can't remember. There was like this 23-year-old dude. Of course, he was, mediocre white dude with his boss who was like 40 years old. And he sat and told his boss that he wasn't getting out of bid for less than a six-figure client. This
Oh.
dude, right out of college, his first consulting gig, he's not getting out of bed for a six-figure client.
Can
Okay,
you imagine
so
a woman
yeah,
saying?
I'm like, are you kidding me? So I'm listening. And the boss was like, you know what? You have to have your boundaries. You have to know what you're worth and all of this stuff. And I'm sitting there thinking, this 25-year-old green, wet, like dude who has no clue had that much audacity to be like, I am not getting out of bed for that. And I was like, what would it be if women could do that? So then I go and I'm interviewing these women. There's this 25-year-old comes and says, I'm the best person for this job, another dude. And he's like, and what are you going to pay me? And I'm like, okay, interesting. Yeah. So then I go interview this woman. She's like 35. She's got 15 years of experience. And then every time she's talking about what she's done in her work, she's like, well, we did this and I'm hoping I can give you. And I'm sitting there like, girl, you are the person that I want to hire. But you're not being audacious enough. You're not saying how amazing you are. You're not being bold about it. And this 25-year-old who can't even like use Excel, like he's like talking about he's the best thing that's ever been born. I was like, if you could have a little bit of that certainty in who you are and what you're bringing, like what the heck, you know? And
Wow.
so, so it's like women, if everyone listen to us right now, audacity, certainty, the way there's a feeling in your body when you decide that I don't need anything outside of me to tell me who I am. And that's why I do the WooDo and the bringing the divinity inside of you, because when I am divinity, no one else, like I don't need to go to another mentor or anyone else. I actually go because it's fun. I go because, ooh, what is she learning? And then I can take a little piece of that or I can leave it all, and there's nothing there, right? It's just so important for us to remember as women that we need to have the audacity of mediocre young white dudes and maybe even mediocre old white dudes, because they really really believe in themselves and they were born that way. Their parents told them that they could have everything in the world, and if you can know that you can too, guess what this world will look like.
Oh my gosh, I have to clap. That was like a mic drop moment. That was so good. Yes. I can imagine what the world would look like if we
Oh
did
my
all have that. If all these like really powerful, talented women had that level of audacity, it would just be like a completely different world. And the divinity
God.
within that you talk about, I mean, you have me so interested in this voodoo. I love it. And I don't know if you know, I think I told you I lived in New Orleans for a while. So I was,
Oh, yay! Well, that's what I'm here right now with my mom. My mom had a stroke, but she's getting so much better. And so my sister and I we live in Florida,
oh,
and we
I live in
came.
Florida.
Oh, you do? I live in St. Petersburg, downtown St. Pete. And so we're here until probably August, maybe the first week in August. We'll head right back. But yes. We are here.
Oh yeah, New Orleans has such magic, and yeah, I saw that you were. I think you're. I had said I had offered like a private one-on-one that culminates in a trip to New Orleans, and then I saw you were doing that too, and I'm like, yeah, of course, because New Orleans is so magical.
Oh my God, New Orleans is so magical. I'm honored that this is my ancestral home. Like, I'm honored that this is the land that I was born in, the land that my dad and my mom and like we're from. I love it. And I like to associate, like, when you think about New Orleans, we think about the magic that's here. And I believe that it is a part of the old, like, Atlantis and Lemuria and those civilizations and when you look at like underneath the waters that are out right outside of New Orleans, you can find like old civilizations under the water. And so I really do believe that there's just magic here. There's just an energy here. And one of the reasons why, like, Woo plus the do, of course, I've been known for that for a very long time. And then I just said, why do I need the Woo plus the do? It's just WooDo, right? And so when I was thinking about that, and I was like, WooDo, there's also this modality, I'll call it modality, it's called hoodoo, and it's with the slaves or enslaved people, prisoners of war, utilized in the hundreds of years ago, that connected them to the land, connected them to their power, connected them to the ancestors, the ancients, right? So that's hoodoo, and then of course everyone knows voodoo, which is very prevalent in Haitian and Creole cultures as well. And so I was laughing because I was like, of course it would be voodoo, of course, because you got voodoo, hoodoo, and voodoo, and it's all freaking amazing.
Yes. Yeah. And it makes so much sense too, because it's like you had this voice, probably this like guide, this ancestral voice come through you and be like, no more, because you have your own thing to bring forward. And that's like, and I definitely experienced the magic of New Orleans. Like for me, that's where I got sober. I got there and I had recently taken ayahuasca for the first time. So I was already like, okay, maybe I'm not a drinker. Like ayahuasca kind of showed that to me. I shouldn't drink. But I drank again when I was in New Orleans and I had this feeling I was like, this is like sink or swim. Like I felt myself being like pulled in almost, like it highlighted it. And I got sober. And it's been almost 8 years now. And I started businesses while I was in New Orleans. Like I learned energy healing. I connected with my ancestors for the first time. It was like where everything started for me. That's where it all began. And I just feel lucky that I got to live there for 5 years.
Oh my God, I love this so much. Yes, yes, you've got, I mean, that's a big story. I feel like all of my, like a lot of big things happen for me and they happen here. So when I uploaded the idea of spiritual AI and I created the Divine Mirror, it happened in New Orleans. My dad had just gone through, like I said, I'm 49. So my dad had just gone through a hospital thing that he needed to, like blood clots or whatever. So we came here and we were here with him. And so that was right before Mardi Gras. And so then I come back, right, for my mom. And it's just the flow of like, such a deep connection, ancestor veneration, just watching like I just feel like there's so much happening in the ancestors and things that we've experienced or the things that have happened in the land in America. Ancestors are like no more, and they're kind of handling stuff and like think like you got plantations burning down, you got Confederate museums having trees locking on like Gaia, and the ancestors are like, we'll handle this, y'all rest. And I'm like, okay. So it's just that kind of stuff, and just coming back to New Orleans just connects me so much to that soul part. And that's when like even more of voodoo and even more of the things that I do started just coming and being even stronger because of this land, you know. And even when I leave, there's still that strong connection.
Mm. Oh, I love that. Okay. Yes. I want to know like what are your offers right now? I know you have the AI and like what do you have coming up?
Well, the coolest thing that I have is I have a 3-day event that's free. It starts next week and it's called WooDo, the Anatomy of Expansion. I'm going to take everyone through the 5 elements of expansion and really on, because, okay, I know it was important, but you may remember, I mean, I've been in this industry for a very long time. So, like, let's say 2012, 2013, I've been in this industry. And I always see the ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. And I will never forget when the whole, like, of course, everyone started to look at trauma and everyone started to regulate their nervous systems and all of these amazing things. But what happened with that is that I like to call it Fragile Fran was like up. She was, I mean, because all of a sudden everything, if you feel out of whack or if you feel off key, then it's something you've got to regulate and you got to come back to getting calm. And what it did was it started to um, highlight this archetype of fragile friend, which is the patriarchy's version of what a woman should be. Like she should fall apart. She shouldn't be able to make decisions. She shouldn't be powerful. Definitely not dark. And, definitely not powerful, right? Those things together. And so, what I am bringing forth in the voodoo and the art of expansion, the anatomy of expansion, is that yes, nervous system regulation is so great and it's powerful, but there is something beyond that, right? There's something beyond that, and it is expanding and it is allowing yourself to feel alive again. It's allowing yourself to be in the chaos, it's allowing yourself to be in the unknown and the unexpected, because that's where the quantum leaps lie. And so what Woo the 3-day event is going to do is bring that back, and like so that people can start to um like there's no more falling apart. You are an entrepreneur. The women that chose to be in this business, they chose to be in this industry, they chose to do these big things, entertainers, brand people, like whatever, coaches, mentors, whatever you do, you chose entrepreneurship. That's not easy. You chose entrepreneurship. That's not for you to be like a calm starfish and like laying down and like feeling all easy. Alignment is not laying flat. It is about you being in flow. And flow of a river is not in flow if it's stagnant. In fact, it's like getting all kinds of disease and it's going to stink and it's not great. You want to be in flow, which means you're in movement, flow. And so I'm like moving us beyond the regulation stage and into the nervous system expansion stage. So that's free. Link is in my bio. Message me if you want the link as well. That's what I've got going on right now.
Yeah, I actually already signed up. I'm so excited. I'm gonna be in there. I'm gonna be in there listening in and expanding, and I'm so excited. Yes, I love that. I actually just wrapped up a free event, but I still have the recordings available for a week. So also, if you all like are vibing with this conversation, you have to listen into Bad Girl Sales, because we just got it was so in line with the conversation you and I just had, really. Like going into the unknown, right? Trusting our power, our shadows. I work a lot with that. And I also have a theater background. So some of what I do is like, yeah, we go underneath the surface. We use these really spirit level acupressure points to detangle
Mhm.
patterns, but we also like get pretty goofy and pretty theatery in my world. Like we forge characters from our truth, right? Like
Mhm.
from what's within us, and we play with that and put ourselves out there. And I am probably going to do another like fun free thing soon that hasn't uploaded yet, but in the meantime, I just started early bird enrolling for my 6-month mastermind, of course, called Audacious. It's all about soul aligned sales and visibility from the inside out. So it's very like juicy, intimate sisterhood, and it culminates in this really magical trip we're going to take to Ireland, which is
Oh,
where my
yes.
family is from, my ancestors are from. So we're going to Ireland together. We're going to meditate. We're going to go to Newgrange, which is this really ancient spiritual site. And it's just going to be like the most transformative 6 months ever. It's really like the mastermind that I've prayed for, that I'm like, where is this? Where is this? And I said, oh, it's coming out of my womb. That's where That's where it is. That's why I haven't found it yet.
Oh,
So I'm so excited to start enrolling people in there. Yeah.
I love that. My dad's side of the family were Hayeses, so we Scottish, right? That's Scotland. So I have this love to go to Scotland in some way. So then I hear about you and the Irish. I'm like, oh, that sounds amazing. I love it. That is
Yes.
so cool. I What's going to happen after the 3-day experience is it's there's two things. There's source coded, which is a short-term 4-week mastermind experience that really helps you connect to the divinity within and remember that that's what you're coded for. So to expand your capacity to hold, well, to move the power, not hold the power. We get so used to saying hold the power, to move the power. And then from there, it's Divinity House, which is my year-long mastermind, which I'm really excited about because it is for the divine divas to really step into certainty, right? You're like you say, audacity, step into the certainty of like, what does the world get to look like when I'm fully like walking in God frequency and I'm speaking from a level of never needing any validation externally? Like, it's just so good and I can't wait. I'm really excited.
I love that. You're just speaking my language. I love it so much. I mean, I know we probably need to go soon, but I'm going to tell like a super fast story where every time you say like stepping into your divinity, your God frequency, all these things, like I haven't gone to a plant medicine ceremony in a while, but ayahuasca was a big turning point for me. And when I was experiencing that, I had this experience of I think my divine self is what I would call it. Like I experienced in the present moment, I was like, oh, this is who I am. And it was this power that couldn't be given or taken. Like there wasn't anything up for debate. It was calm. It was sovereign. It was an experience of sovereignty that I don't think I really conceptualized until I was there, so very present and feeling it. And God, there was just nothing more true in than that. And knowing that that was always me and that was always there. And it's funny because, and this is like the pitfall of, not pitfall, but can be the pitfall of plant medicine is like once it wore off, then my mind was back on the throne and I was like, where is it? And I kind of got back into the seeking mode or the chasing mode of like, well, I want that back. Isn't that me? That's supposed to be me. Where is she? And I do think now it feels like this coming forward of yeah,
Yeah.
of course it's
I
still
saw her
you.
the whole live stream. She was here during the whole live stream, speaking during the whole live stream. And
Yeah.
that's you just when you watch this back, you're gonna be like, huh, that's
Yeah.
it. That's her. That was me. Because it was so good. You can always feel when somebody is coming from a grounded God frequency. There's no seeking, there's no like questioning what you're saying. You're just in flow. And that's what we just did. Like, we just did that for a whole 40 minutes. Flow, flow, flow. So juicy.
Wow.
I am going to ask for permission to put this on my podcast because this is so
Please
good. Can I put
do.
it on the podcast? Okay, I want to put it
Please
on the
do.
podcast. I want to put it on my YouTube because I can't wait. And I'll have to get your links to all the things so that we can share this with the entire world because it was so good.
Yes, I love you. You're amazing. You're incredible. I'm so glad we did this. So
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you so much for having me. I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.